Welcome to the TheDPost Sports Chat. I'm Drew Rubenstein here again with Todd Murray. And Todd, the WVU women's basketball team's been off since last Saturday's win at TCU, their first week-long break of the season. Did it come at a good time for Mike Carey's squad here?
I think it did. It was a tough. They had a tough travel schedule there in January. I think to be able to spend a week at home and probably take a couple of days off. From practice, and it's a good time to sort of regroup here for this important final 8 games of the regular season.
Absolutely, and when you look at it, 8 games, 5 at home, and really right now WVU's sitting in the top 20, number 2 in the Big 12 Conference, just a game behind Baylor. Does this team have a chance to win the Big 12? What's the possibility of something like that actually happening?
I think certainly it's a very real possibility. They've put themselves, in a good position heading into February here, like you said, in second place. They've beaten some of the better league teams on the road. Went to Oklahoma State and won. Went to Iowa State and won there as well. And they've got Oklahoma State will be coming back here. Now they're going to have to go to Baylor, which is the first place team, toward the end of the season. And there could be a lot riding on that game. But I'd have to think Mike Carey and his players, they like where they are right now. And it's there's a lot out there for them to achieve. And they seem to be pretty intent on doing that.
I know Mike Carey and his players want to take it one game at a time, but if you're looking bigger picture and legacy and things like that, Mike Carey has had this program rolling for quite a few years now. I mean, it's not been uncommon for them to be in the top 20 in the NCAA tournament, 8 games, and then into the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament. How important is it for them to really make some noise here and finish strong and maybe go further than they ever have? Does this team need that? Does Mike Carey need that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike Carey, he's known as a solid coach around the country, but probably not as well known as maybe he should be. And I think that all comes back to, reputations are made in the NCAA tournament. And the fact is that his teams have never gotten past the second round, where a lot more eyeballs would be on them. And that's, he says he normally doesn't talk NCAA tournament at this point in the season, but he has been talking about it in terms of seeding and where they need to be, because it's obviously seeding is going to tell the tale of their path to getting past that second round, and that's the big goal right now.
I know Mike Carey's mentioned, and I have a feeling this is a conversation we'll have more, but we might as well go ahead and dive into it. Really, when you start looking at the locations of the NCAA tournament, there's a good chance WVU is going to be playing on somebody else's home floor in the second round, and it seems like Mike Carey is aware of that and trying to motivate his team to continue to win, to hopefully get out of that position, but it really might be stuck.
Right. If you look at it, Maryland hosting Duke and North Carolina, those are not places you want to be and hope to get out of the second round.
Yeah.
LSU is also hosting Purdue. Those are difficult teams as well. It's going to be tough. Either way, they're not going to breeze through the first 2 rounds. Looking at it, I would think maybe a Purdue, although they are an excellent team, if you had to play on somebody's court, that might be a destination that they would look forward to. But it's going to be difficult. They have to keep winning. They have to finish strong in these last 8 games, at least to ensure that they're not in the position of having to play at a Duke or North Carolina.
Right, because right now it seems like they're by most indications a top 5 seed, pretty strong right now, but depending on what they do, they could still move or slide up and down. That said, Saturday's game against Kansas State seems to be one that they just have to win. Just when you look at it on paper, West Virginia seems to have every advantage. But do you expect, will there be any sluggishness coming off of a week-long break? What do you expect from West Virginia after a week-long break?
Yeah, that's almost inevitable that you might have a little sloppy play early on, but I know Mike Carey's been stressing to them, they've got to win this game, this, as if it were, Baylor, Oklahoma State, whoever it happens to be, Kansas State, a team that struggled a little bit this year, but it's just as important as any other game. It's one they've got to have.
All right, very good. Todd, appreciate your time once again, and please continue to check TheDPost.com for the latest on the Mountaineers. Thanks for watching again.